I'm about to give you 33 powerful ways to generate real estate leads in 2025. Strategies that have the potential to help you close an extra deal every single week. Some of these you might have heard before, but others most agents don't even know they exist, and that's where you'll gain the edge. These strategies will help you stand out in your market to attract higher quality buyers and sellers so you can dominate without relying on outdated tactics that every other agent is already using. Before we dive into these 33 strategies, you need to know the 3 biggest marketing shifts happening right now in 2025. If you ignore these strategies will not work for you because you don't understand the rationale. Don't worry, I'll explain it in 60 seconds. Number 1, photos alone just don't cut it anymore. Buyers and sellers choose their agent based on who they see on video. Agents who use video get 403% more inquiries according to a recent PhotoUp report. But not just any video will work, it has to be strategic. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in the first part of this video. Number 2, transactional content is dead. No one cares about the listing that you just sold. In 2025, your content needs to be either educational or entertaining. Agents who share market insights, local lifestyle content, and engaging stories will attract more clients. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in the second set of strategies that I cover. Number 3, the agents who dominate their market aren't necessarily always the best. Sometimes they're just the most well-known, meaning your personal brand is your currency. Just think about it. Would you rather work with a random agent or someone you feel like you already know, like, and trust? Rhetorical question. Don't worry, you don't need to be an influencer, but you do need to put yourself in a position so you're the go-to agent in your area. And don't worry, I'm going to show you all the ways you can do that at the end of this video, so make sure you stick around till the very end. Let's get right into it. If you're not leveraging video in 2025, you are falling behind. Buyers and sellers no longer choose their agent from a mail drop or because you're someone's friend or family member. They choose based on who they see consistently in their feed, teaching, educating, and sharing value. And if you're just slapping together a home tour video, that just won't work. You need the right video strategies to generate inbound leads to attract clients on autopilot. And here are 10 ways you can do exactly that. All right, number 1, we have talking head educational style videos. So that's what you're actually watching right now. Now, most agents, they rely on the generic listing videos, but really educational content is going to be key because buyers and sellers want guidance. They don't just want meaningless info. Especially, I see this happen on Instagram all the time where people have feeds of like all these houses they've just sold, and it's like, that's cool, but what does that really teach me? It doesn't teach you anything, right? So an example here is buying, the step-by-step process to buying a home in your local city, or what it's like to sell a home. You can even break down more complex topics like financing, inspections, closing costs, lawyer costs, all those things that go along with buying or selling real estate. Make sure you use graphics or overlays to reinforce key points, just like we did in the intro of this video. Hire an editor for that. Don't do it on your own. And lastly, end with a call to action in all of these videos because they're going to be more bottom of funnel based. So buyers should, in theory, have more intent. If you need me to look at your strategy step by step, click the link below and book in a free 15-minute phone conversation with me, just like what I did right there. On to number 2. So now we have neighborhood tours. Now, people buy lifestyles, not just homes. I want you to really think about what that means. They don't just buy the house itself, but they buy the neighborhood that that house resides in. So you should show them what it's actually like to live in that area. You can cover things like, hey, the schools, the parks, the restaurants, the shopping centers, the commute times, and be honest here. I think a lot of realtors tell me like, hey, there's actually bad things about this neighborhood. Like there's homelessness, there's crime. Don't sugarcoat it, and you should actually talk about those things because that will build even more trust with your ideal prospects and your ideal clients, right? If you want to take this a step further, you can even interview local people, like local coffee shop owners, people you see on the streets. Make things engaging and interactive, right? That's a great idea. And then of course here, this takes it a little bit a step further here, but you can actually even use a drone to get some B-roll footage and add production value, or again, talk to your editor and see if they can pull clips that are royalty free so you don't get in trouble to again, add some production value to that. Again, make sure you add a CTA to a video like this. Again, CTA call to action. If you're thinking about moving to San Diego, click the link for a custom list of homes that we'll send over, and then you capture someone's contact info, right? That's how you actually turn your views into leads. Number 3, we have case study and success story videos. So this is one that I actually never see realtors doing, and it always baffles me because it's such a powerful thing, is that social proof sells. If you ever read books by Robert Cialdini, he always talks about social proof, where you're not telling someone my stuff works, but they're seeing other people who've used your stuff talk about why it works. So people want to see success stories. And a way that you can format this is usually a problem, a solution, solution than a result. So the problem is, hey, this seller's home wasn't selling. The solution was we changed their marketing strategy. The result, we sold their house in 7 days at $20,000 over asking when another realtor couldn't do that. That's really powerful, and that will convert your top of funnel viewers into middle of funnel, and those bottom of funnel viewers, that's the people who are thinking of working with the realtor. And if they see a video like that, that might just sway them and say, hey, this person's the best fit for this job. Right? Now show some before and after photos, or ideally you're going to want to get this client on camera, and you're going to want to do it right when the deal actually closes. If you wait too long, the happiness goes down, or they just forget about you. So ask right when the deal gets closed. Keep these videos concise. 60, 90 seconds works best, so have them shoot it in selfie style, or if your client's a little bit more compliant, you can have them even jump on a Zoom with you and take a quick 10 to 15 minute Zoom conversation, just like how I have on my channel. Again, call to action: if you want similar results, click the link below, book in a free 15-minute consult, or let's chat. On number 4, behind the scenes vlogs. So these are more, kind of reality style driven, more raw and kind of behind the scenes. You see shows like Selling Sunset, they're very fabricated, but they're reality videos, right? And people like to watch that kind of stuff. So show your daily life, home tours, challenges, wins, negotiations, what time you wake up, what your routine looks like, all the stuff that people don't really know about a realtor. Be candid here, right? Include some funny or unexpected moments. That just makes your content more relatable, not overproduced, right? And share some personal insights like, hey, here's what's going on when we have a multiple offer situation. Here's how I handle it. So you can kind of sprinkle in some sales strategies when you're making a video like this. And the reason why this works so well is because people work with agents, or in general, people work with other people that they feel connected to. I just said like people 4 times there. But hopefully that makes sense. Number 5, here's a specific style of video that I see working so well all the time, where it's like things you need to know before you move to XYZ city. The reason why this works so well is because new movers are really warm leads, and like I'd say the majority of the time they haven't even picked an agent yet, because they're still thinking about, hey, do I want to move to this area? So if you can be the person to educate them on things like the cost of living, the crime rates, the schools, the job markets, weather, best neighborhoods, entertainment options, right? Even comparing different neighborhoods. And if you're going to use visuals like drone shots and real actual production like good quality B-roll, you will create an evergreen video that will generate leads for you for years to come. And this is speaking from experience. I have a handful of our partners today who are making content like this, and they get so much inbound business. I can't share the specifics, but it's just an absurd amount off of one single video. And if you don't believe me, look it up in your local market. Just Google whatever city you're living in right now and say, hey, 5 things to know before moving. And you will see the thousands, if not tens of thousands of views these videos are getting with really engaged people who are looking to move to that specific city. Number 6, this is one that I never see, and I feel like it'd be such a great idea, but it's actually reacting to Zillow listings. So it's kind of engaging, it's bingeable, and it simultaneously is educational, but also entertaining, right? So you can either pick an overpriced property or even an underpriced property and explain why it's either a good deal or a bad deal, right? And you can kind of go all in here. You might want to check with the listing agent or whoever before you make a piece of content like that, before you're bashing somebody. So maybe you do it about a property in another market or something of that nature. But compare some listing photos versus the reality, like, hey, what's misleading about this property, or conversely, what's accurate about it? You can add some humor. Why does a $1 million home have carpet in the bathroom? That's probably a pretty silly one, but I imagine most realtors have stories like that, so maybe you've seen something silly like that yourself. Sprinkle that in. Right, and then, hey, if you're always going to want to add call to actions here, right? So if you're looking for a home in this specific area, let me find the perfect one for you. Click the link below to get a custom tailored list of homes to your price point, wants, and needs, right? Always add those CTAs. Number 7, myth-busting real estate videos. So people love to be surprised. You want to challenge common real estate myths because I'm sure there are a ton of them. For example, you need 20% down to buy a home. In the US, we have FHA loans. In Canada, you got to go through CMHC. But there's ways that you can get a property. You don't always need 20% down. Another maybe misconception: impossible to sell in the high interest market. That's just not true, right? So use some stats, real life examples to back up your claims. Get straight to the point. These got to be quick, engaging videos. These are really good for even short form videos, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, things of that nature, or you can combine them into one long form video and put it over on a platform like YouTube. Definitely your CTA in a video like this, these are going to be more top of funnel related viewers. So you're going to want to make a CTA that's more so like, hey, getting some engagement. So I covered 5 myths. What's the biggest myth that you've heard, viewer, right? And get a CTA that way, a little bit lower friction call to action there. Number 8, ask a realtor Q&A videos. So answer real questions that your audience is asking, right? This is a great way to get engagement. And you can do this by getting, facts from your social media comments, DMs, emails, in-person conversations, just stuff that you hear all the time as a realtor. Some sample questions that you can answer. Should I buy now? Should I wait? Is the winter better? Is the spring better? Here's why, right? What happens after an offer is accepted? And then what you can do is you can actually create a library of these frequently asked question, fact videos to save yourself some time on answering all these repetitive questions. And the bonus thing is this is actually really great for lead nurturing because anytime someone asks you a common question like this, instead of typing an email response back, you can actually say, hey, I actually made a video on that along with 24 other videos that might answer some frequently asked questions for you, and then just direct them there, right? That's a great way to build time leverage in your business. Number 9, live market updates. I think every single realtor needs to be doing these. And the reason why is because they just showcase your value as a realtor and they show that you're on the pulse of what's going on in their local market. So a lot of buyers and sellers don't read market reports, but they will watch a quick 5 to 10 minute video that gives them the pulse of what happened over the last month. Keep it simple, engaging, and free of jargon, so don't use all your realtor lingo. Dumb it down to people who would really maybe not necessarily be in the pulse of what's going on with real estate, but so you might not want to use the words like BOC, interest rate hike, or these percentiles, right? Dumb it down to what an average home buyer would need to know. So for example, interest rates decrease by this amount, so that means your mortgage, if you're buying a property, will decrease by X amount of dollars, right? Keep it focused to what actually matters for the viewer, right? So exactly that, explaining trends in plain English. Example, interest rates just changed. Here's what it means for buyers and sellers, right? Dumbing it down. Call to action, you want a custom home value estimate, or if you're considering buying, book in a free 15-minute consult. In videos like this, you can afford to be a little bit more direct with your CTA because, again, the viewers in this section will likely be a little bit higher intent than someone who's just considering moving to a new city. Make sure you post these videos monthly because they're really important for consistency and to showcase to buyers and sellers, hey, this person's been on the pulse of the market for the last 6, 12, 18 months. They always make these videos, therefore they always know what's going on. Number 10, a weekly home buyer or home seller mistakes series. Make like a mini series just to keep your viewers engaged. If you have a repeating series, that way people know like, hey, every Monday this guy posts, you will start to build a following, which is really, really important. Example structure here, week 1, the number 1 mistake first-time buyers make. Week number 2, don't buy a home without doing this first. If you make this mistake, it can cost you tens of thousands of dollars. Negative hooks always perform better than positive hooks, which is what I just did right there. Keep it short and snappy. Each episode should be 60 to 90 seconds, especially if you're posting this on shorter form platforms, again, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts. If you want to take this a step further, you can even make this an ongoing long form video series and post it on YouTube Organic. But really, the goal here is to get binge-worthy content where it's like you're stringing content together. So week 1 to week 2 to week 3 and have viewers expecting your next video. And again, use text to highlight key takeaways. Don't just have you kind of in front of a camera there. Add some B-roll, add some text to make it a little bit more engaging. All right, now that you know how to use video to attract more buyers and sellers, let's talk about how to maximize your reach with social media. Now, most agents post randomly and hope for the best, but a social media strategy should be a lead generation machine if you do it right. So here are 7 strategies that will help you turn likes and views into actual clients. All right, so number 11, we got Instagram Reels and TikToks. These are just what we call short form videos, and short form videos are such a great way to get just free organic reach. Organic just being you're not paying money for ads, and reach just being how many people you actually get in touch with who are watching your content, right? This is content that needs to be fast-paced and engaging, right? So you're kind of coming at the camera. It's not really like you're dilly-dallying, right? It has to be quick, snappy, and to the point. You need to have a hook. The hook is the most important of a short-form video. Here's what most buyers get wrong about A, B, and C. Notice that there's a negative hook there, right? Most buyers get wrong. People like you know, negative things. It's like when you look at the news, all the stuff's always negative. There's not much positivity, right? I'm not saying for the hooks though, like you have to always be negative, just still keep that informative frame, just to not take that out of context. Be sure you post 3 to 5 weeks to stay top of mind, and that's one of the big points of short form content, is to build that top of mind awareness, so you're always nurturing and people are always seeing you on their feeds. You got to be consistent with it too. I see too many realtors post like once every now and then in a blue moon, and your social media strategy cannot work that way. You need to be consistent. So don't commit to short form unless you can commit to posting at least 3 to 5 times per week, every single week. You're going to want to build a team to help you do that. So your short form editors, check out Fiverr, and maybe even a script writer, or you're going to want to batch some time on the weekends to get this content banged out. But that's what I do for my videos and what I suggest you guys do as well. Number 12, Instagram polls and story Q&As. So super underrated way to get more leads here, but Instagram's algorithm will actually boost engaging content. So if you're posting stories that have Q&A, you know, you're going to get more engagement and they're more likely to push you out into the algorithm there. Use some quick yes or no polls to increase participation, just to say, hey, like it's a quick yes or no, so they don't have to read a lot. It's just like a, you know, really quick, I'm tapping 1 or 2 things, and that alone will get you more engagement. And people who actually engage with you, start to DM them. So the equivalent here is like kind of a mini call to action. It's like, hey, if they engage to your post, just DM them back and start a conversation, right? Be natural. Don't try and be salesy. But that's a great way. I've actually got a ton of leads through my Instagram account personally. Number 13, I just don't see this being done enough, and I think it's so crucial, but using LinkedIn to post authority content, because LinkedIn has really high net worth audiences. Your doctors, dentists, lawyers, accountants, all that stuff. They're all high paid professionals on a platform like LinkedIn. So it's a great way to get luxury leads in terms of people who have intent, and they're going to be a little bit more serious than the leads you get off of Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube Shorts, in my opinion. Share valuable insights, so don't just go the classic Instagram route and share all the just sold listings you have. You need to be educational here. So share things along the lines of 3 things every homeowner needs to know about the current market in Calgary, or in Los Angeles, in New York, in Florida, in Jacksonville, wherever you are. Again, establish yourself as the local expert. Number 14, I just don't see this being done enough in the real estate space, period, but is actually using Twitter, or now called X, to create home buying or home selling educational threads. So Twitter rewards detailed and engaging threads where you make one initial post and then you add another tweet to it, add another tweet to it, add another tweet to it. And the reason why a good thread can blow up like wildfire is because people can retweet it, like it, share it, and it just establishes your authority right away. Right? Make sure you use compelling hooks. So instead of video format, now it's just in written format, but 5 home buying mistakes that no realtor wants you to know. Right? How powerful of a hook would that be? Right? Keep each tweet short and valuable and punchy to the point. Next, we have Facebook community groups. Now, this is one that I see a lot of realtors doing, but they don't do it correctly. You want to join local groups where buyers and sellers are hanging out. So local community groups in your specific city. I'm sure you have one if you look it up. But a lot of people, where they go wrong is they just start to promote themselves like, hey, if you're looking to buy or sell a house, like right off the bat, don't do that. You need to provide some value, engage with people in the community, and build long-term trust. If you do that, people will eventually come to you. It's a long-term strategy. It takes some nurturing, some time and effort, but if you commit to it, you will see success because you're providing value, right? Don't just be the guy who's saying, hey, I'm so-and-so realtor. DM me if you're looking to sell your house. You will not get business that way. Number 16, collaborations with local businesses. So I see this done few and far between. I think it's an amazing way to get business in your local community because you basically get to cross-promote with people who are already engaging with that specific coffee shop or that bar or that bakery, whatever it is in your area. So an example of this is if you make a video where it's like best coffee shops in Los Angeles, a realtor's guide, now you can talk to 2, 3, 4, 5 different coffee shop owners, and then maybe they repost your video on their social media platform. I'm sure they already have thousands of people who are engaging with them locally. You basically get to piggyback off of their traffic. And local businesses are happy to share your content because why would they not? You're making a piece of content that's valuable, that's talking about nice things about their specific coffee shop. So they're more likely to repost that, and then you, again, piggyback off their traffic. Number 17, repurposing video across different platforms. So this is one I see people doing, but they kind of half-ass it, and they do it in a way that is just like, you can tell it's repurposed. So for example, people will make like a TikTok video, and then they'll post it on IG, then they'll post it on YouTube Shorts, and then they'll post it on LinkedIn, and it's like, you need to change the content slightly depending on the platform you're actually gearing it towards. So a video posted on TikTok will likely not be the same. Like that might be a home tour video versus LinkedIn might be a little bit more of an educational post. So you want to make sure there's relevancy there. But what you can do is hire a short form agency or somebody off of Fiverr or Upwork to turn one video that you've created into multiple pieces of content. So for example, you can make a YouTube long form video, have someone splice that up and say, hey, turn this into an Instagram reel or into a TikTok, or into a LinkedIn post or into a Twitter thread, right? And hire a Fiverr editor to automate that repurposing process. You can hire somebody in India, Philippines, Pakistan for a pretty reasonable price, so you don't have any excuses not to do this. Now, social media isn't just about posting. It's about posting strategically to get in front of the right people in the right way. So don't leave yet, because up next, we're going to dive into how to build your personal brand so you are the first agent people think about when they're ready to buy or sell. So here are 6 powerful strategies to build your brand and make yourself the go-to agent in your market. Number 18, launch a real estate podcast. Now, most agents chase leads, but with a podcast set up the right way, you can actually attract them. So podcast is great because it allows you to showcase your expertise, your personality, and your network. Here are a few different formatting ideas. Number 1, you can interview local business owners, mortgage brokers, home inspectors, real estate lawyers, or anybody who you transact with on a regular basis. I'll tell you why in a second. And what you can do with these people is answer frequently asked questions about real estate, or even beyond that, talk about market trends, home buying strategies, anything that you think is relevant or in the other person's domain of expertise. You really don't need a massive audience here. The key is just having one listener who's the right person and having them turn into a high-value client. And ideally, here's the bonus, right? Podcast guests will likely share that episode to get you more exposure. So that's why it's relevant or really important to work with neighboring markets. So if you're a real estate agent, work with a mortgage broker. If you're, again, a real estate agent, work with a home inspector or a real estate lawyer, because ideally, they'll repost their video, it'll go to their network, but they'll have referrals for you because, again, you're in neighboring niches. So great strategy there. Number 19, build out a weekly newsletter with personal stories. And that's a really big key there, with personal stories. You know, most real estate newsletters are boring. I actually don't think to date I've read a single good real estate newsletter. They're always just market stats or what's going on in the market, which are 2 things that I kind of know about but don't really care to read about. Right, so you need to make yours personal and engaging, and here are a few ways you can do that. Add some client stories. So hey, this couple almost lost their dream home, but here's what we did to fix it. Or behind the scene insights, so 3 lessons I learned from selling a $1 million luxury home this week, or some actionable tips. If you want a faster home sale, do this one thing before you list. Keep it short, entertaining, and value-packed so people actually read it. The key is here is keep it short, right? Keep it entertaining. Don't just have like paragraphs or essays of text, which I see all too often, which leads to me either unsubscribing or just putting it in junk or just really never responding back, right? It's really key though that you have CTAs. So, you know, hit reply back to any of these emails. I personally review all of them one by one. So hit reply if you have any questions and I'll get back to you. Or maybe I'll write a post about it in next week's newsletter, right? So make sure you get that 2-way dialogue with your email newsletter subscribers. Number 20, conversely, that you are interviewing other people, now you can become a guest on other local podcasts and webinars. So instead of creating your own audience, you can actually leverage someone else's. Get featured on a couple things like local business podcasts. Right, so the future of real estate in your local city. There's a ton of people who have podcasts in your city. I'm sure if you do some research on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, just Google it, and I'm sure you'll find a ton of different options here of people you can reach out to. Real estate webinars. This is a really great one because if you can leverage someone else's traffic to create a webinar, that's massive because the viewer duration is typically going to be a lot higher, 30, 45 to even 60 minutes. So if you can educate someone for 60 minutes, that is massive, right? You're going to build substantial amounts of trust there. Or you can even do investor meetups, right? So how to invest in rental properties in today's local market. And all these things are going to help you build credibility and authority, while the most important part here is reaching a new audience. So this is someone that's going to be beyond your existing sphere or your referral network. Number 21, feature client testimonials in a before and after series. So people don't want to hear that you're a great agent. As much as you think they do, they really don't care. Just as much as I'm an agency owner and I think I'm the best, people don't really care. They just want proof, results. Aaron, what can you do for me? It's going to be the same for your clients because we're in a trust recession, right? So instead of just posting a quote or a screenshot of something, create a case study, right? So for an example here that's really specific, but this seller had 3 offers fall through before we helped them sell for $25,000 over asking. The reason why this is so important is because if that specific person has dealt with another realtor and that's the scenario they went through, and you help someone else through that exact scenario, that's going to build an immense amount of trust, right? So show some before and after photos, for example, an empty home, a staged home, and then a sold sign. You have to create a journey that someone can follow there. You can make a carousel post about it, or ideally, carousel post, by the way, is just multiple photos, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 photos consecutively. But ideally, create a short video to increase your engagement. You guys know I'm huge about video, right? Number 22, create a Why I Became a Realtor video series. So not one that I see often, but a lot of people who get into real estate have a pretty unique background, and I think that story should be told. So buyers and sellers, again, I'm going to reiterate myself here, they want to work with an agent that they actually connect with. So this could be a quick 2 to 3 to even 5-minute video sharing about, why you got into real estate, what makes you passionate about helping clients, and what really sets you apart from other agents. And this should not be the generic stuff like, yeah, I have great communication. If that's what sets you apart, that's a very low standard. That is pretty much every realtor, ideally. So go into some unique stuff about you specifically as a person, right? And the key here is to tell a story because storytelling builds trust. And again, people like to work with someone they like and relate to, right? Or they know, like, and trust. KLT, know, like, and trust. That's super key. And those are 3 things we always want to be focusing on as we're creating content for various different social media platforms. Again, this is a super underrated one here, but number 23 is publishing articles on platforms like LinkedIn. And another really great one that's really big in the coaching, consulting, and e-learning space is Medium. But it hasn't caught on in real estate. So Medium is just a place where you can post different stories. And one of the reasons why you want to do this is because they have really good SEO. So if you post on a platform like that, and Medium will index your posts a lot higher than you would be able to if you just had your own website. So in this case, most agents ignore long-form content like this in terms of text content, but it does build trust and authority if you do it in the right way. So you can write articles on topics like the 5 hidden costs that buyers forget about, what every seller should do before listing their home, or what the one thing is that everyone needs to do before listing their home, how interest rates are affecting the housing market in 2025, or if you want to make that even more specific, how it affects it in February or March or April or May, whatever the month is. And why this works. So this works because this is SEO friendly. These articles will stay online forever. So ideally, you want to make these posts evergreen. So in terms of 2025, only do that if you're going to be posting consistently. If not, you're going to want to focus on more evergreen topics like the 5 hidden costs or what every seller should do before listing their home, because these are pieces of information that will stay the same or relatively the same over the next few months, if not years, right? And lastly, this is going to help you establish yourself as the go-to expert in your specific area. Now that we've covered personal branding, you'll be able to get more attention. And attention is great, but if you don't have a way to capture it and turn it into a lead, it means nothing. And the key here is to offer value up front, give people something they want in exchange for their contact information. So these next 6 strategies will turn your browsers into buyers and sellers and put you in front of high quality leads. Number 24, we have a free home seller guide PDF. So I see this one go wrong a lot of the times. I say a free home seller guide, but really you're going to want to be a little bit more specific than this because most sellers have no idea where to start. And your home seller guide might have all the best information, but it needs to tell them up front what they're going to get by reading your guide. So for example, the top 5 ways to increase your property value to sell your home in the next 5 days. That would be a much better title than just a regular seller's guide, because what is that, right? So here are a couple things you're going to want to include. Step-by-step guides on preparing, staging, and selling, right? So how do you prepare your home? Give them a checklist. Should I stage my home? Yes or no? What are the benefits of doing that if I do or if I don't? And selling my home, what does that process even look like and how can you guys help me? Answer some common seller mistakes and how to avoid them. Home pricing strategies, how to get top dollar. The list goes on and on and on. The key here, though, is you need to offer in exchange for an email, name, and phone number. Don't just say, hey, here's my downloadable link and go do whatever you want with it. You need to make sure it actually is valuable enough that like, hey, I'm going to give you something of real value here. So you're going to give me your contact info in return, and you're going to follow up with that person. That's a lead for you, right? CTA, download my free guide below. That's going to teach you how to do A, B, and C, right? You want to add that next step. Don't just say I have a free seller's guide, right? That's too vague. Number 25, here's an interesting one. You can create a buy versus rent calculator, right? And I'm saying it doesn't have to be like some sort of coded app. You can literally make this in an Excel spreadsheet or even a Google sheet. But buyers love instant answers. So if you make it easy for them to say, hey, should I buy or should I rent? A simple interactive calculator on your website, that would do wonders, right? Or even have it as a call to action on your YouTube videos. For example, your video could be, buying versus selling in today's market, right? Buying versus renting a home in San Diego, right? And a call to action to that video can be a link to a buy versus rent calculator, where you can plug in your rent versus your mortgage payments to compare things like how much they could afford to buy, and understanding the long-term savings of home ownership, or even the equity that they could gain if they bought a property with maybe a proposed return calculator, right? Some things even beyond that. And make sure that you gate this info, so don't just have it so anybody can access it, because I see a lot of this on a lot of websites. But again, if your lead magnet is actually valuable, someone should have no problem entering their name, email, and phone number just to get access to it. Number 26, webinars and virtual workshops. So this is a great one that I touched on a little bit earlier, but so many buyers and sellers have questions, but they don't know who to ask or where to turn. So if you run a live training session answering their biggest questions and concerns, who are they going to think is the authority in their market? Rhetorical question, it's going to be you. So example topics here: how to buy a home in 2025 without overpaying or getting burned by interest rates. Or three common mistakes that sellers make that cost them thousands of dollars when they sell their homes. Right? Promote this via Facebook or YouTube ads. Ads are key here because you need to funnel traffic to these different platforms. I would honestly suggest Facebook and YouTube in this case, because you're probably going to see a cheaper registration cost. So great idea here. 27, I just don't see this being done at all these days. Maybe COVID kind of changed things, but hosting local in-person meetups. So face-to-face interactions are a great way to build trust a lot faster than online marketing, right? Face-to-face, barrel-to-barrel, or belly-to-belly, whatever people say these days. And you could host a casual home buyer or seller seminar at a local coffee shop or an event space, cater some coffee and some pastries, have people come in, handshakes and hugs, that kind of thing. And talk about simple topics: first-time home buyer tips, strategies for downsizing if you're a retiree, or local market trends, and just some Q&A, right? Give people a platform and a place where they can ask you simple questions that you can answer. And then based on all the questions you get, hey, maybe those are 5, 10, 15 ideas for future videos that you can make to add to your long-term nurturing process. Even if attendees don't buy now, they will remember you when you're ready, because they're going to think of, yeah, that was the guy who educated me at that in-person conference. Right? So that will put you a step ahead over just, again, the generic realtor who did no education in their sales process. Number 28, this is a really big one here, and this comes from our experience in the marketing world for 5 years, but it is, as Russell Brunson calls it, a soap opera sequence. Soap opera sequence, which is just a 5-day sequence that has a little bit of education, that tells a little bit of a story, and educates your prospect. So in the context of real estate, what you can do is a new to the area email sequence. So new residents are always overwhelmed by so many different things, right? So you can do a quick 5-day, 5-email series that covers things like, hey, where are the best schools? Where are the best restaurants, the gyms, the neighborhoods you need to check out? And then beyond that, some local real estate trends and home buying tips if they're either considering moving to that market or if they've already moved to the market, right? So kind of balance both of those things and create your content based on that. And the key here is to provide some real value that positions yourself as the go-to agent, because maybe someone is going to a new area, maybe they just moved, they're renting there right now, but who knows, maybe they're going to buy in the future. Number 29, this one is so tried and tested, always works, and I always have realtors, or sometimes realtors come to me and say, hey, they come to me and say, hey, I don't want to do a free home eval, and it's like, this always works, it has worked, it will continue to work forever, because most homeowners are curious about their home's value. But they sometimes don't want to request a formal appraisal. That costs money. I got to schedule someone to come down. I'm busy. My house is not ready to sell yet. All these different things, right? So instead of a generic PDF report, send a personalized video message like a Loom or a BombBomb with a quick video breakdown of some of the stuff that's going to affect their home value, like what's listed on the market today, what's sold in the last 90 days, what unique things have you done about your property, and you can give them a little bit of a range. Right? So, hey, based on recent sales, your home can sell for around 400 to 450. I can't say with too much certainty because I haven't actually seen your property. I'd be happy to pop in on XYZ day just to give you a more accurate value. Would that help you out? So many people overcomplicate this. It is tried and tested. It always has worked, and it will continue to work. We have realtors running this ad today, and we have realtors getting a listing appointment or two every single week, closing an extra 1 to 3 deals every month with this exact strategy. So it works. If you're considering it, just do it. It will 100% work, I promise you. And if you get stuck, again, 15-minute strategy session you can book with me in the link below. So as you know, the best agents don't wait for leads to come to them. They create value, capture that attention, and turn it into business. So now let's have some fun and talk about 3 outside-the-box strategies. These are creative, unexpected tactics that most agents are not using, but the ones who do are winning big. So if you're looking for fresh ways to stand out and generate high-quality leads, these 3 ideas will give you the edge. All right, number 30. This is one I thought of the other day, but it is running a dream home giveaway contest. So this is kind of a fun and a little bit more of a silly way to generate some buyer leads. So have participants submit their dream home wish list for a chance to win a prize. It doesn't have to be a crazy prize, could just be a $50 Amazon gift card or a Visa gift card, whatever it is. But all you have to do is say, hey, post an Instagram poll or run an ad for $5 a day and say, hey, type out whatever your dream home is. If you're buying a home in XYZ area, post give me 1 or 2 or 3 sentences about what you would want in your dream home. Get their name, email, phone number, and it's kind of a silly way to get some leads and say, hey, you're looking for a farm or a ranch or an acreage or whatever it is you're after. We actually have that in this market today. So that's kind of a way to say, hey, I'm going to get some names, emails, and phone numbers of people that I could actually follow up with. Right? So one that I'd be really curious to see if somebody tests that out, how that would actually perform. Next, I think this one would do absolutely amazing, but it is a TikTok or an Instagram reel or a YouTube short, like a house hunt series, where you're documenting a real buyer's journey from touring homes to actually closing and walking through what exactly that process looks like. And don't sugarcoat it, right? Share the challenges, go through the home tours, the client's reactions, and ultimately the entire process A to Z. This is going to be so good because it's a video series, number 1. It has some continuity in it where it's like, wow, I want to see what's happening with this buyer. It builds trust, and then ultimately it shows another home buyer what that process looks like so they know exactly what to do when the time comes and they think of you instead of so-and-so realtor down the street. Next, we have chatbots for instant lead nurturing. So again, I see this being done so much in the coaching, consulting, e-learning space, but a lot of real estate agents haven't caught on. A lot of brokerages are starting to catch on, but they're still not doing it at the level I think it should be done at. But a lot of agents just lose leads plain and simple because they don't respond fast enough. So if you use a chatbot on your website or Facebook page, this is a great way to capture the attention that you should be losing. You can even set up a ManyChat integration if you Google ManyChat or YouTube it. ManyChat has a great automation system that basically allows you to capture leads, nurture them, and collect their contact info 24/7 without you being attached. But what you can also do is you can set up an AI chatbot to answer frequently asked questions, collect contact details, and schedule calls automatically. There's a ton of software that's doing that these days. Even platforms like Chime, I believe, has an AI software built in. KV Core has their own AI, I believe, and ChatGPT. You can pretty much integrate it with anything. But it's a great way, just especially if you have an ACh&x search website, just to capture leads and contact info and have them get nurtured automatically. So one that I think I see high-level 7-figure teams using that I think more realtors should start implementing in their businesses. And the last one, I would love to see this done personally, but it's a neighborhood live like a local video series. So instead of doing just kind of a generic kind of neighborhood tour, I said this earlier, but buyers aren't looking for homes, they want a lifestyle. So have this be kind of a really casual vlog style video where you're showcasing different neighborhoods, but literally you with your selfie style phone, kind of just in your car, driving around, checking out different things, and cover things like specifically not just the restaurants, nightlife, schools, and parks, but things literally like the commutes where it's like, hey, it's 8 a.m. on a Monday morning. I'm just simulating a drive from here to downtown to see how long it takes, right? Do like an actual day in the life, like if you actually lived here. I think that would be an amazing video series that would do really well because it's so raw and authentic. And again, the CTA here should be, if you're thinking about moving to this specific city, let's find you your perfect home. Click the link below to get our free relocation guide, right? Super simple, but I think this video idea would do absolutely amazing. Wow, that was a doozy. Now that you've got 33 proven strategies to generate leads in 2025, The only question is, which ones are you going to pick? I urge you to pick 3 of them, commit to them, and start them today, because the agents who execute are the agents who win. Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure you subscribe for weekly real estate lead generation tips and tricks every single Monday. We're going hard this year in 2025. Check out the channel for more real estate tips, and we'll see you in the next one.